Here we go. Yet again. Welcome to this Friday. Um, you guys know I fell flat on my face with my positivity journey. I have been along this journey for the last probably 3 or 4 years, and then losing my dad early this year kind of, opened up some emotions and some doors that I was not necessarily prepared to walk through. And so because of that, I kind of gotten off track. I've gotten off basis with what or who Jimmy L is. And I'm redoing the podcast. I'm redoing this show to try to find my footing again. I do recall my foundation and having inspirational or motivational videos and speeches and podcasts that I'm used to listening to try to get back to my happy self. And so a part of me wants to get back to my happy self, and a part of me wants to rediscover what it means to be who I am today after losing a parent, and whatever that means and whatever comes next. And so I'm battling, kind of going back and forth with that. And so I'm allowing inspiration, I'm allowing motivational tapes and clips to kind of guide this step of my journey. And so I'm bringing you guys along with me. I'm hoping that you all are being inspired and motivated just as much as I am. Each day is drastically different. Good days, bad days, rough days, amazing days. But I'm learning to take ownership of those days because they are mine. And so I'm going to jump right into this motivational clip today. I think it's going to be a little bit interesting for me. I think it is. So this is called, this is on YouTube again, as part of the Law of Attraction Coaching. It's titled Retrain Your Mind, Best Motivational Speech. Here we go.
John Gottman, who's done leading expert in terms of relationships and marriages. Most indicative thing in terms of whether a couple will get divorced or not is how they tell their story. Is merely saying, oh, so tell me the story of your relationship. How did you two meet? And if it's, oh my God, it was so wonderful, it was this and great, we had challenges, but we overcame them, we got to know each other better, we grew together, versus, it's like, oh, we met up, and we had some problems. Just hearing that story is a huge indicator in terms of the success of children. If a child knows its family history, it's a huge impact on how successful that kid is in school, how well it's example of that.
Like when you say knows their family story, what do you mean?
Again, that issue of, okay, your great-grandfather, immigrated here from this.
And if they tell a story that's sort of positive and empowering.
And they're a part of something. They're a part of something, it gives reason, it gives meaning. And what you see across the board with that, with us, when you look at what therapists do very often is fixing people's stories. I'm a loser, I've always been a loser, this didn't work out, that didn't work out, I can't. Versus you can take the same events and say, oh, this didn't work out, but that's the day I learned a great lesson, which same events, but you're telling them in a different way. So very often, it's not about the specifics of what happened. We've all had successes. We've all had failures. But which ones do we choose to define ourselves by? It's that story in our head that keeps us going. And so it's deeply important for meaning, but also deeply important in terms of, grit, resilience, persistence. Because, again, that story you tell yourself, do you tell yourself, I'm the kind of person who, I'm never going to make it through this. I quit at this, I quit at that. Or, I'm not a quitter. That's the story I tell myself. People want to seek out things that support their story. They want to fulfill their story. We all know someone who has this vision of themselves in a certain way. And you present them with that challenge of, you think you're so smart? Well, could you do that? And people often jump to the challenge. Why? Because they want to support their story. And we have this evolving story of ourselves. And it's really critical, for us to feel that, we are part of this, because we've all had how many moments in our lives, how many ups, how many downs. We don't remember all of them. We don't recall all of them, and we don't make all of them part of our story. There's 1,000 different ways to frame the decades that have gone by. We can shape them many ways. And how we do actually has a huge effect on whether we persist, how happy we are, and the decisions we make going forward.
So I'm not actually sure his name. I do know that was Tom Billion speaking in the background of the interview. So I'm not exactly sure who he was interviewing at that time, but I really love that. Um, I do know that the story that we tell ourselves or our perspective of what is actually happening to us, for us, with us, by us, I do know that the perspective that we have, it shapes our reaction. I know that it shapes our outcomes of what we're going to do or think about tomorrow. I do know that. I do believe that. And I will say that I'm in this mode of I don't care. That partially scares me. A lot of people ask me questions quite frequently throughout the day. What about this? Can you do this? I'm just like, I really don't care. This is my lane. I'm going to stick in my lane. That there sounds like your lane. I'm staying out of your lane. Keep me out of your business because I don't want to know. I don't care. I've recently told my mother, my mother-in-law, my husband, my boss. I've told quite a few people that my mouth has been lethal this year, being extremely outspoken. I've always been a person to say what's on my mind, but I typically would tailor it to the person that I'm speaking to just to make sure that you heard me. Now I'm just like, I don't really care if you understand me. I'm going to say what I have to say. And so I'm working through whatever that means for me. I don't like it. I don't like it, but I know for a fact it's where I am right now. And so the story that I'm telling myself right now is I don't want to be bothered with other people's trauma. I don't want to be bothered with someone else's business. I want to stick in my lane, do me the best way that I know how. And I'm learning this also from Esther Hicks and Abraham Hicks. And that's about the path of least resistance. And the universe or your intuition will always guide you through your particular path of least resistance. And so sometimes that does mean that to get you to where you're supposed to be along this particular journey, your path of least resistance could very well be through a dark alley. It could very well be through a negative comment or a negative moment. That's just where you were in that moment. Take that path because that was your path of least resistance and just move on. This deal is don't stop. You have to keep going. Don't, in the words of Lisa Nichols, do not take up real estate in the stuff. In her words, we all are going through some stuff. Your job is to not take up real estate in the stuff. Keep going. Keep moving. I'm so glad that I thank you for that reminder. Keep moving. This is just where we are right now. That's it. It gets better. It gets greater because our future is bright. This is just a little detour. I get that. So I will commit to working on changing the story that I'm telling myself. I hope you can do the same. I love you guys as always. And until next week, namaste. Peace be unto you. See you guys.